Hey guys, how you doing? Do you hate facing the London system when you've got the black pieces? Well, if so, I've got a weapon for you. And this is, I think, be really appropriate at more or less any level, but particularly for the beginners. So, say for example, you play the London when you've got the white pieces, and what you like about it is that you get to play more or less the same moves, whatever your opponent does. That's kind of the beauty of a system opening like the London when you're a beginner. But as you improve it, you do need to adapt your play as well, because that can then become a double-edged sword, as we'll kind of see now, actually. So this will be really interesting for anyone who plays the London as white, but also if you're looking for a weapon against it, then I'm going to propose to you the Leningrad Dutch, which is what I've been playing recently against 1d4 when I'm black. And the nice thing about this is that just like the London, you can more or less bang out all the same moves against most things that white will do as well. So again, usual warnings apply. You shouldn't just automatically do anything in chess. So anyway, so I've got a little Lichess study here with a couple of common lines. I'm just going to show you those really quick. I might expand on this later, but I think because this is actually a video or a little bit of a study that I've wanted to do for a while, but thinking I'm facing the London still quite a lot when my opponent plays 1d4, and I've been automatically kind of playing the Leningrad, and I thought to myself, well, how's it working? Because I really haven't got a feel for it. So I went on Opening Tree, and Opening Tree said, "You're doing great, Hunty, crack on." Okay. So anyway, without further ado, here's what happens. So 1d4, and the Dutch defense is f5. Okay. They wang out their bishop, and you wang out your knight. Okay. They push e3, and you're going, oh, here we go. Right. A foggy day in London town. Okay. Now the Leningrad Dutch g6 here. Classical Dutch is e6, and actually that is a move that we can play at some point as well if we want a nice solid structure. And interestingly, if we do, then it's going to be pyramid versus pyramid, because white very often ends up with this kind of V formation, and so could we. Anyway, so what do? They bring out their knight to f3. You fianchetto your bishop on g7. Now this bishop has to be said, well, it's basically there in a kind of defensive capacity for now, but you never know what could happen. Bishops are good at just sitting and biding their time. They're like weeping angels of chess, right? So out comes now. So this is where we're going to look at two variations here, because at the intermediate level, slightly in front of bishop d3, because you can see the problem with bishop d3. It's biting on granite. It's looking straight down a whole row of pawns that it can't get through. Okay. Now, slightly more common move is bishop c4, because white knows that you want to short castle, because that's what you do. And bishop c4 could prevent that, but then we have e6. So we'll look at that. Okay. So you just crack on. Now, these are all that we've played 5 moves now, all just normal Leningrad structure. Okay. And now here, what we're going to do is the key break in the Leningrad, or key break in the Dutch in general, is going to be, pawn to e5. Okay. Now, right now, our London playing opponent has 3 sets of eyes on the e5 square. So we can't, how many pieces have we got defending it? None. But wait, because that's all going to change. So we push d6, okay? Now, interestingly, after d6, I mean, black's winning 54% of the time from here at the intermediate level. We're not messing around here. And white wins 42%. Okay? So d6, that's our one defender here. Notice that if this knight ever comes to here or here, for example, it not only also protects that square, but discovers more support from the bishop too. Okay. The other thing we're going to do is going to play queen e8, and then we're going to bring this knight either to c6 or to d7. Right. So opponent obviously pushes c3 because they're a London player and that's what they do. Right, now you can just push queen to e8. Okay, so now we've got 1. So after this goes there, we're going to have 1, 2. We're going to have pawn and queen, and we're not done yet. White castles, because that's what he does. So White's just played his first 8 moves, right, automatically, and so have we. And now you can bring out your knight to here. And we don't really want to blunt this bishop, okay? So sometimes you can bring your knight here. You can also fianchetto your bishop on b7 as well, in the Leningrad or in the Dutch in general. Okay, and most common moves, by the way, I'm playing all the most common moves here now for White. They put their rook on the e-file, and now bang. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3 defenders. Oh, not that one. Okay, how many attackers? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and what's more, look at this. Okay, always keep your eye out for this in the London, right? And this is a potential weakness in the London system when they play the auto moves, when they do it on autopilot, knight and bishop, right? And we've just slotted our pawn straight up to e5, which is, by the way, where this knight wanted to go very often. Okay, so we take back with our d pawn, and this is a big problem already, right? Automatic moves, all the most common moves for strongish players. Okay, now we're attacking the bishop. But oh no, we're also doing this. Okay, now you could also, by the way, stick your king on h8 at some point in time, and you'll see why, because it looks like we're about to win material, doesn't it? Right, because the bishop moves. Okay, and now we push forward, but you can always get out of a fork if you can move one of the pieces away with check. Bishop c4, check. Our king moves to here, okay? And now in comes their knight. Now I'm just going to show you a couple more moves and that's it. We bring our knight to here. Okay, this position has been reached 4 times at my level. Okay? They retreat their bishop and you slap your knight into there. It's negative 2.7 in black's favour. Black has this knight is an absolute bone in the throat. You've jammed it right down White's throat. This bishop is not doing very much at all. Black is at least in a strong position. He's in a very good position, if not already winning at this point. The space is great. And what have we done? Nothing special. Okay, let's just look at a quick alternative as well. We'll whiz through this pretty quick. Okay, I can do this blindfold, mate. This is like. Oh, this is all the normal moves. Until this point, okay? So, bishop c4. Now, the problem with this is it's targeting g8, so we can't castle, which is what we'd want to do. So, bring out your knight. They come in with their knight. This is all common, right? This has been reached 10 times, this position, and it's kind of 50-50. But now, e6, right? So, e6, he wanted to come in here, like Friedliver style, okay? And now, nah. We've just closed the door. And look, we're the one with the light squared wedge there. They bring out their knight, we kick. Knight retreats, we advance. And this is a common theme. This kingside attack is a common theme in the Dutch defense. Even when your king is castled this side, you push your pawns up. Your queen can sometimes come over as well and join in the fun here. The bishop now goes to there and we castle. And this is okay. I mean, it's negative 0.5 in black's favour. This position has been reached once by 2,2100 and black won. So the point is, if you're looking for an automatic weapon against the Leningrad, then against the London, then definitely consider the Leningrad. It's a nice, slightly spicy way to respond to d4. But the good news is you see the London an awful lot at the kind of beginner breakthrough improving level. But your London players, let's think about this, right? So here's your London players, right? So the most common move that, in fact, let's set it to like 1200 and 1400, okay, at Lee chess. So that's going to be like 900 to 1100 kind of chess.com. So we're talking breakthrough level, okay? So d5, okay? 59 million times this has been played, right? And out of 59 million, where is f5? Right? Most common moves. Let's go through them. D5, knight f6, e6, e5, d6. Okay? G6, preparing to fianchetto. C5, C6, knight C6, and F5's all the way down here. Right? How many times? 865,000, 1.5% of the time. 1.5, they're going to see the Dutch, right? At the beginner breakthrough level. Okay? So, we'll do that. Bishop F4. So we're talking nearly 200,000 Londons, okay, at this level. Okay? And we just continue with knight F6, right? Now, white does all right. It has to be said. At this level, white is doing better. White's doing like 50-odd%, okay? And they push e3, and we just go through this. But they're not going to see many of these at all. This is the point. And if you start to specialize in the Leningrad now, that will see you all the way through, probably, for the rest of your chess career. And it works great against the London, but it also works great against, c4, knight c3 setups as well. The normal setup for white is to fianchetto their bishop on the king side and castle king side, but the Leningrad's great. So there you go, bit of a recommendation. Hope you enjoy. See you later.